Hey, it's Scott Barratt, and welcome back to The Burning Truth. And as always, I'm joined by a man whose beard is more over than a surprise Joe Hendry entrance. It's Matt Burns, everybody.
Well, you said its name, and it's appeared.
The beard is here. How are you, Matt? You okay?
I'm all good. I still recovering from last night.
Yeah, I mean, shattered, mate. I don't know about you. I don't know how I didn't fall asleep recording last night doing the watch along. That was our first ever Royal Rumble. It was our first ever PLE live watch along, and it was hard. Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to stay awake till 4 a.m.
Can you imagine?
I underestimated it.
I think we both did. Because if you remember, I tried to go out with any drinks, and during the mini break, I had to go grab one.
Yeah. It was a tough night, but I tell you what wasn't tough. What wasn't tough was actually watching the action, because 4 huge matches, a really top quality PLE. Yeah, I think it's fair to say, and a night that will go down in history as what?
Yeah. It's got it's got some ups, it's got some downs, it's got some shocks, it's got some turns.
Whoa. Down in the right channel. We don't do ups and downs over here on this pod, Matt Burns.
True, we don't, but
we do Scott statistics and Matt facts.
Matt facts. That we do.
Absolutely.
That we do.
But yeah, a phenomenal night of wrestling. We've called this episode YEET-A-MANIA ? And that's because we have absolutely no idea where we go from here, and absolutely no one saw the finish. And if you're watching this by now, you must know what went down. But we're going to break it down, go through it match by match. And Matt Burns, I don't know if you want to start us off giving some of your thoughts on the Women's Royal Rumble.
I thought it was absolutely great. Now, I know for me personally, I couldn't wait for the men's Rumble match. It was one of the reasons why I was going to be there. I'm hooked. I just didn't know what direction they were going to go with the women's, but that's not a bad thing, if that makes any sense. For me, I thought it was. We didn't know exactly know what to expect. We knew there were going to be some surprises, but we had some. We know they're going to be there, even though they've lied on social. They sort of said they're not going to be there on social media.
I think this was a show of 2 Rumbles. And the first one was what I would call a classic Triple H Royal Rumble. And what I mean by that is, over the last few years, the Royal Rumbles have been a letdown. And the Women's Royal Rumble, for me, firmly stays in that, on reflection, the Women's Rumble firmly sits in that a bit of a letdown category.
Mm-hmm.
I think I don't want to get too ahead of ourselves here, but the surprises were okay. I mean, we got Alexa Bliss making a return.
I'm sorry, but you're not disrespecting the Alexa Bliss return.
No, yeah, the Alexa Bliss return was good. We got Trish, which was nice. It wasn't amazing. It was nice. And we got Nikki Bella, which was, I mean, I'm a bit indifferent to it. I suppose if you're a fan of the American Traitors, you're probably loving that Nicole Garcia was in. But Nikki Bella. And if you're a big fan, I suppose, that Divas era, we come from before that, don't we? And so Nikki Bella is a bit of a, it's a bit like when Kelly comes in, it's a bit but what was really good was they used a lot of the NXT talent.
Yep.
Used that NXT talent really well. Roxanne Perez, for example, who went toe-to-toe, but was a letdown in some of the surprises that we had been, or that the online community had been begging for. Use the word begging for. AJ Lee, Becky Lynch, just as 2 examples.
Yeah.
And then the winner of the match being so obvious.
Well, it was so obvious, the fact that I actually predicted it.
Yeah, absolutely. So obvious and such an obvious choice to put Charlotte Flair over, because do you know what? They always put Charlotte Flair over. I'm almost of the opinion that we should start calling the Royal Rumble the Charlotte Flair Invitational. Yeah, and just that this match left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth. I was really glad to see all the NXT women get a bit of shine.
Oh,
and I was really happy to see Alexa Bliss back. And that's all I've got to say that was good about it. So on reflection, so probably in the moment live, I enjoyed it to a point. But if I put a critical head to it and think about it post, yeah, NXT was good. Alexa Bliss was good. And the rest of it, yeah. Really enjoyed seeing Roxanne Perez, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, Lash Legend, but a predictable winner. And yeah, that's how I feel about it.
You've missed the name off there.
Go on.
Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, Jordynne Grace, but we knew, didn't we?
Yeah. No, but she was the one who
because we knew.
She wasn't a surprise, but she was a surprise to some who might have believed her social media.
Oh, right, okay, I'm with you.
Because supposedly she said that she was at it was something like an 50th or 80th, family member's birthday.
Listen, her performance was phenomenal, right?
Yeah.
But the performance of what was probably 6, 7, 8 individuals during the match, and I'll call them out: Roxanne Perez, Jordynne Grace, Julia, Stephanie Vaquer, have I said Jordynne Grace? Yeah.
Yep.
Bianca Belair, Chelsea Green, who we can talk about at length if you like, and probably Nia Jax. If I'm honest, she's probably my 7th.
I was about to absolutely crucify you
for not mentioning
it.
Yeah. Outside of that bit, and do you know what? I'm going to add an 8th. Liv Morgan was really good as well.
Yeah.
But outside of those 7 or 8 having a good performance does not, for me anyway, it doesn't rescue it from what it was poorly booked, I think. It was poorly booked.
For me personally, I think some of the content was good. I just felt as though giving it to somebody who's just returning, and as much as I know everyone can say the same, but you predicted it. Well, the reason why I predicted it is because Charlotte Flair on the road to WrestleMania
wins everything.
Yeah, she wins everything. She gets on the show.
And do you know what's going to happen? The Monday night following WrestleMania, she'll be the champion.
Yeah, she will, because she'll win it at WrestleMania.
Leaves a bad taste in my mouth, Matt Burns.
And bear in mind that
we're probably going to get Charlotte versus Tiffy time, yeah? Tiffany Stratton.
Which means Tiffy's going to have a shortish reign because of Charlotte, which I think it doesn't sit well with me.
You say shortish, but she'd have been the champion for 4 months. December into April. She'll have been the champion for well over 4 months. So.
Bear in mind the fact that Charlotte has been in the Rumble or done this. She did it on Rhea Ripley and her reign. She did it, her NXT reign.
Yeah.
And then somehow wouldn't exactly drop it cleanly to the next person, which was Io Sky. Then it was Asuka, who on multiple occasions
was Asuka first, wasn't it?
Yeah.
She was the first one. She killed the undefeated streak.
She killed the undefeated streak, and then every time she went up against her, she somehow won the championship every damn.
And I tell you what, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to blame directly Charlotte Flair, because that's not what my issue is. It's the booking of Charlotte Flair that I'm frustrated with.
Bingo. You just hit the nail on the head. It's not Charlotte Flair's fault. Fair enough. They might be sitting there thinking, "Oh, we might just be pushing it towards breaking our father's record."
I was reading the John Report today, right? Big shout out to John if you ever read the John Report on TJR. Cheap plug for those guys. But I was reading the John Report, and I think I can't. I'm just trying to find the exact wording because I have got it up here actually. And we've probably missed off actually Stephanie McMahon opening the show. So we'll go back to that in a second. But
I get.
So his report here says the fans popped big for Nikki. I'm not sure they did. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm going to throw a flag on that, just because I think the crowd were let down that we didn't get AJ Lee or Becky Lynch, because I think they were both expected. I think it went past tease or not tease. I think it went past we hope and became an expectation, which is a dangerous place to be for the Rumble.
Yeah, and I think what made it worse is the fact that as much as because they're saying, they were all excited. Really? How about you actually go rewatch it? And when they went to that that place where they were watching it live in Las Vegas, you literally could read one of the fans' lips saying, "What is she doing here?"
Yeah.
Like, and it's like,
not in a good way.
No, not in a good way. And what makes it worse is I would have said the crowd went mild. They didn't even do that.
No, listen, we don't normally go this negative on the pod, and I want to underline the fact that this was a really strong PLE and a really great event. But this match specifically really frustrated me, and there were good parts in it. It wasn't all bad. I would still be giving it 2 out of 5 sausages for me, Matt Burns. But the finish and the booking towards the probably the last third of the Rumble match.
Yeah, of the women's
was poor. Yeah, it was poor.
Yeah, no, it just felt for me personally. I thought it felt a little bit rushed at times, and instead of it being like on like a knife's edge risk, it was just bam, but foot to the face. That's it. Bye, I win. And
in comparison to the men's Rumble that we'll talk about at the end, chalk and cheese.
Yeah, vast differences.
I almost feel like they put way too much time into the men's.
Yeah.
And didn't probably leave themselves enough time to do a really good job of the women's.
Yeah, I felt as though they did a bit of a disservice for the women's. And again, as much as Charlotte Flair's coming back and everything, but it was literally as soon as Charlotte Flair was announced, that was my pick from immediate. It was like, Charlotte Flair's in the Rumble. She's winning.
Yeah. And I didn't want to believe it because, and you got to think my prediction actually was Becky Lynch, who wasn't even in the match. But if there was anybody who was going to beat Becky, if there was anybody who was going to beat Charlotte, it was going to be Becky. So my prediction was based on, again, the same as you. Charlotte's in it. Charlotte's going to win. Who has the potential to beat Charlotte? Well, there's only one person. That's where I went.
Yeah. The thing I will say about the Rumble itself, that was really good. It allowed Jordynne Grace to have a good gracing period to showcase what she can do for WWE. And the NXT lot got a good showing as well. Although I felt as though some of the commentators should have taken some notes from the NXT commentators a little bit.
Are we talking Corey Graves here, mate?
I'm not on about Corey Graves.
Okay.
I'm on about actually Corey, Booker T, basically the whole team, because I felt some of the stuff that they were pulling off weren't being called exactly what they should be or being addressed.
Oh, you wanted a bit more move calling.
It wasn't. No, it's not just that. I feel as though when you're watching NXT, because they're watching it regularly, they know exactly what to point out, what to call out. Where I feel as though on the PLE, the commentator team hadn't read any of the notes, and it was like they were seeing something for the first time, and it was like, what's that?
I'm going to disagree slightly, only because I feel like one of the strongest parts of this PLE was the commentary trio.
Oh,
I think they did a fabulous job overall. I agree. No. I agree with your point. I agree
just
with your
point. NXT, but
they did a great job overall. Yeah. Michael Cole especially was absolutely on fire for this one.
Oh yeah. No. You just hit the nail on the head. I just feel as though because they might not have been watching the NXT content as much,
might not be aware of some of these and history and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So they only read the bullet points as opposed to getting the detail.
Bingo.
That's what it felt like,
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's rewind a little bit, just because we jumped straight in there with the Women's Rumble. But before we even got there, we had Stephanie McMahon appearing. So I suppose there's two things here. Stephanie McMahon is the lead in one of 2 new WWE shows that are coming very soon. She's going to be going round to different wrestlers' homes and where they live and where they're from and spend time with them. You know, I think there's a video of her on a yacht with the Bloodline and having a beer with Stone Cold and a few different things like that. So she's getting to do something completely different on TV, which I'm sure she's loving. The other TV show we can talk about later, the Evolve show that's coming, Developmental's developmental. But that show's going to be on ESPN in the US. I'm not sure if we're getting it in the UK or where we're getting it. Hopefully it'll come to Netflix like everything else.
Are you on about the Legends and Future Greats?
No. That's not one that I'm talking about. So there's 3 new shows altogether then, if you want to include that. There's the Stephanie McMahon one, and then there's the Evolve show. But it was heavily promoted during the Royal Rumble.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, I know what you're on about. But I would say that's one I'm hoping also comes across over to us. Possibly even
hopefully. I think it'd be good. Nice little show to watch. And anyway, the main thing is it was really nice to see Steph. That's what I wanted to say.
Yeah, no.
And I'm happy for her to appear here and there. She's a great character as a heel, but she was severely overused during some of the WWE's worst ever booking years. So if they're going to use her as a character, use her sparingly for now. Because I do think that the general managers we've got currently do a really good job, and it isn't overbearing. It isn't Eric Bischoff towards the end, anonymous Raw general manager Teddy Long. It isn't too much, as we've seen. John Laurinaitis was the worst version of the overbearing GM.
So you've just mentioned about WWE Evolve, right?
Yeah, I was going to get to that later, but we can talk about it now if you want.
I know. No. We'll
just talk about it now. You look like you really want to talk about it. So WWE Evolve, it's going to be produced and led by Gabe Sapolsky, who Paul Heyman's understudy from ECW, then went on to create and run Ring of Honor.
And he also is the original owner of Evolve.
Yeah, and then went on to do Evolve, and now works with WWE, obviously putting this show together. WWE trademarked the name. We got news that WWE trademarked the name last week, and then this show seems to have popped up all of a sudden. And what it looks like is a soundstage with very little. I don't know if there's any fans actually in any of the trailers for it, but it's basically the new developmental show because NXT isn't a developmental brand anymore. It's just a brand. So it's almost like a league now. So if you think Raw and SmackDown are the Premier League, if you're thinking about a tiered structure, NXT's become like League One or the Championship, and Evolve now is the grassroots developmental brand. And that's how I see it now. I don't see NXT as a developmental at all. I just see it as the next level down. So you go up the rankings until you make your way to Raw and SmackDown. I think it's really exciting that we get this extra level. I think this Evolve will replace whatever we expected to come from NXT Japan or NXT Europe.
Now
this thing is just the first version of whatever that was going to be.
And additionally, have you seen the network that's going to be carrying it?
Yeah, no, I'm not familiar with the network. I did see it when it was advertised, but I just thought, I don't know who this is.
I actually do know what it is.
Okay,
and it's actually a bit of an interesting format because it's a network called Tubi. Right. TUBI. Now, what's interesting about them is technically we get that over here as well, Tubi.
Right.
And the interesting thing about it is all their content that's on there is free and available to watch. They play some general adverts of the area, local adverts and everything, but it's all free. You ain't got to pay a penny.
Free to air TV. Love it. That's really interesting as well that we're going to get that. But right, anyway, move on from Evolve, move on from Stephanie McMahon, move on from the Women's Royal Rumble because we just taught that to death. And let's move on to the Tag Team Championship match from SmackDown, which was DIY, Tommaso Ciampa and Johnny Gargano versus the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin. And this one was interesting, Matt Burns, because it was 2 out of 3 falls. And we've recently had the turn of DIY. So do you want to talk us through your thoughts on this? And I'll tell you what I thought.
Me personally, I thought this was a good way to set a great tag team match. And it was. It was a really good tag match. I feel as though Bubba Ray hit the nail on the head. Sort of could be a show stealer. and it was one that I felt as though it was getting better and better. The fact that you got DIY paying a bit of homage to the bar with
the finish,
the first tag
finish,
which was absolutely brilliant, and it shows straight away at first glance it looks like, oh, that's miscommunication, and then when you rewatch it after him getting the fall, it's like, oh no, that's absolutely a power move, an absolute genius move. It's absolutely and it shows how much trust they've got in each other, which is great.
What are you talking about for people that haven't seen it or missed it?
I was about to say, which is, it was going to be like a hot tag from Ciampa straight to Gargano, to try and come in to save the match. But just as he's about to hit Gargano's hand, Gargano pulls his hand away, tricks the Motor City Machine Guns thinking he's the legal player, comes flying in, and he gets sort of knocks out the way. It's like, whoa. They're thinking, oh, he's done for, go for the pen. And he's not even the legal man.
Very clever. Very, very clever. And we said, obviously, the Bar had done that previously, hadn't they?
Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro when they were together. Yeah.
Sheamus and Cesaro actually did that to actually claim the tag team championships from the New Day.
So, I suppose just to talk about this, DIY stole that first fall.
Yep.
The Motor City Machine Guns then fought back, tying it 1-1 with that classic Skull and Bones finisher.
Yep.
And then the finish of the match, the Street Profits got involved, cost the Motor City Machine Guns the win. DIY retained, but it looks like we've got, a brewing rivalry now between DIY and the Street Profits. So where do the Motor City Machine Guns land? I tell you where I think they all land. I think they all land in a massive ladder match at WrestleMania. All the tag teams on SmackDown.
Potentially.
But we've got a long way to go before we get there. So,
yeah.
What did you think about the finish with the Street Profits?
Let down. I think that actually stung the match. I think it did sting the match because it was like they cost the Motor City Machine Guns the match. Didn't do anything with DIY, waited for them to almost leave and then attack. Why would they do that? Why didn't they just outright just batter them both?
Left a sour taste in my mouth, this did. It was a solid 4 bangers match.
Yeah.
Until the finish. Ruined it a little bit for me.
Yeah.
However, it's nice to see the Street Profits back.
Yes.
They disappeared for a few weeks, didn't they?
And
so it's nice to see him back.
It's nice to see him back, but suppose this is meant to be a heel turn. Didn't feel like a heel turn.
It didn't feel like a heel turn.
To me, it didn't. It just felt like they were just frustrated at two teams.
Yeah, I agree. That's exactly how I felt. And I don't think we've known what the Street Profits are since the Bobby Lashley days.
Yeah.
Are the baby faces, are the heels? Who knows? We're just not.
Is it column A, column B?
We're just not clear, are we? We're just not clear what they are, why they are.
Make it clear.
Yeah, just make it clear for us.
What was that old saying that you used to borrow quite regularly?
I still do, mate. You confuse them, you lose them, and that's where we are. We're losing the Street Profits. Well, I'm losing all will to watch the Street Profits because I'm not sure what they are and why they are. But it was nice to see them back. I will say that, and we never know. Over the next couple of weeks, this could go somewhere.
Yes,
and I hope it does. I hope it absolutely does. So, this match, bangers. Did we do the Women's Royal Rumble?
I think you said 2.5.
I'd give it 2, I think. 2 out of 5 bangers for the Women's Rumble.
I think that's... Yeah.
What would you give them this tag match? Until the finish, this was 4 out of 5.
Yeah, it was 4 out of 5, and then that happened, and it went straight down to 2 or 3. I'd say.
I think 2.5 out of 5 bangers is probably completely fair.
Yeah,
based on what it was, maybe even 2 bangers. I think we got 2 in a row, and I still think this PLE was one of the stronger ones we've ever seen.
Yeah,
so, these next 2 matches really needed to up the game. And I'm glad to say they did. And the next one I want to talk about, Matt Burns, is the undisputed WWE Championship ladder match with Cody Rhodes defending against Kevin Owens. Owens, a bloody mess by the end. He took some, well, they both did. They took some sick
They both
bumps.
did, yeah.
And yeah, the match ended. I'll just talk about this really briefly before we give opinions, etc. Cody sent Owens through a ladder bridge with an Alabama slammer, and retained both versions of the championship.
Not only that, bear in mind that prior to that slam, there was the spot off the top rope.
Yeah, onto another ladder bridge in the ring.
In the ring, yeah. Which
plus that awful bump that Cody took in the corner on that ladder that was resting on the bottom ropes.
Oh,
so, yeah, some horrible bumps, but really, really, really cool match, if I'm honest.
Yeah.
So talk to me about your opinions on it, Matt Burns.
I think some of the bumps that were in there were absolutely barbaric. Like the back body drop onto the edge of the ladder.
Yeah.
At the top. And I looked at it, I was like, you shouldn't be taking bumps like that. That is a career shortener. Yeah, definitely. Totally. Definitely. And some of the bumps that they were taking were absolutely mad, insane. Even the step ladder stuff was insane as well.
Utter madness, the entire thing. I think that I wasn't looking forward to this match. I was a bit bored of Cody and Kev, if I'm being totally honest. I was a bit bored of it. As a conclusion to the feud, though, this drew me back in. Phenomenal match. I would give this 4 out of 5 bangers easily, maybe 4.5, maybe 4.5. Do you know what? I could be pushed to 5, I think. I'm not sure if it was the perfect match. It was certainly the perfect finish to the match. And I don't know if it was accident that he rolled into that hole in the ladder. But
yeah, at the first glance, from when we saw it, we thought he broke his neck.
Yeah.
We generally thought he broke his neck because if you watch our reactions, it was like, whoa.
You can on YouTube, The Burning Truth 251. You absolutely can watch our reactions. We did a live watch along of Royal Rumble. Carry on, Matt Burns.
It was utter shock, and I think it was only due to the replay and the fact that how people were checking on him that we knew he was sort of okay. But at the same time, from this match, there's actually already been talk and speculation from WWE officials that Cody's come out with some bumps and bruises and a few injuries from the match.
Surprised? Are you surprised? I'm not surprised.
No, I'm not. I would have been shocked if he came out with a clean bill of health.
Yeah, I don't think Cody wrestles again until WrestleMania. To tell the truth, to make sure we get whatever match is coming. I still can't believe he's only made 8 title defenses in 300 days as champion, though. I feel a bit let down from that. And I know he's worked a lot of house shows, etc. But, I did think we'd have had more title defenses from Cody this year. He hasn't been the fighting champion, I don't think, that we were promised.
But then again, we are comparing to what we're used to from the past compared to the modern era.
Yeah, with 5 matches on a PLE, 4 matches on a 4-hour PLE this time. I know there were 2 Royal Rumbles, but even so, yeah. Okay. Yeah. So I think for this one, I'd give it 4 out of 5 bangers easily.
Easily. Definitely.
And brought the tone of the PLE back up. We're talking about this WWE Championship match, Cody and Kevin Owens. Great end to the feud. And perfect for what it needed to be.
They made us care about the match, and then they made us care about the consequences of during the match and after the match with the people that were there, doing the checks and everything. They made us care about the fact that they weren't just fighting it out for a championship. They were actually potentially almost, ending each other's careers.
Yeah, totally.
And I'm so glad they didn't go down the route what I was expecting with Sami Zayn as well.
I mean, he was there. Sami Zayn was there at ringside towards that
but he showed care for both.
Yeah, he didn't actually get involved, did he? Which was really a nice beat in the story.
Yeah. So other than that, like you just said, easy 5 bangers. Easy 4.
4 out of 5. 4. I could have been pushed to 5, but I'm happy with 4 out of 5.
4.5, 5. Me personally, it was a banging match.
Yeah, and that's we're here to enjoy the wrestling, and I enjoyed this, and that's the main thing, right?
Yeah.
But then we move on to the main event. And I'm going to call this the most star-studded Royal Rumble in history. Of the six, of the final six in the ring, 4 out of the 6 had been WWE champion. Not World Heavyweight champion, WWE champion. And don't even pretend that one means more than the other. We all know the WWE Championship means more than the World Heavyweight title. It always has done. It always will do, because it's the one with the big WWE logo on it, right?
It's the one with the history.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I mean, the World Heavyweight title has the lineage of WCW, etc., doesn't it? But the WWE title is the belt.
Yeah, it's the one that's actually got the main history attached to it.
It's the Bruno Sammartino, Hulk Hogan, Ric Flair, Bret Hart, Shawn Michaels, Undertaker.
Yeah.
Rock, Austin, Triple H, Mankind, Sid Vicious. What are you talking about?
I'm throwing it in there because he did win it.
Yeah, he did. He did. I'm just not sure. He was the Yokozuna belt. Anyway.
Yeah.
And I can't remember where I was going now. You've upset me by talking about Sid Vicious in the same vein as Hulk Hogan and Shawn Michaels. And
no, but he's still a champion.
Yeah, I was talking about, but all right, Bob Backlund, and I was talking about
the original Nature Boy.
Out. What are you doing?
The original Nature Boy.
Yeah, was Buddy Rogers WWE champion, WWF champion, WWF champion at the time?
Yes,
was he?
Yes.
Okay. I haven't got time. I haven't got time to fact check that, Matt Burns. Somebody
he was actually one of the very early ones. Very early
in the comments if you're right or wrong. I'm not going to go researching that now. But the men's Royal Rumble match was the next match on the card.
Epic.
And yeah, so what I was saying was, compared to the women's Royal Rumble match, this was a really well booked match. And out of the 6 remaining wrestlers in this Royal Rumble match, 4 out of the 6 had been WWE champion. That's what I was saying. Not World Heavyweight champion. They've been WWE champion, and not just any champions. We're talking 3 of them had some of the longest reigns with the WWE Championship in the last 30 years. We're talking CM Punk over 400 days. We're talking Roman Reigns, who had it forever. We're talking John Cena, who had mammoth reigns with the belt. Seth Rollins, who held it multiple times, heist of the century.
Oh, yeah.
If we talk about the start of the match before we get carried away, the big names that started early, Rey Mysterio, Penta in at 1 and 2. Jacob Fatu made a dominant entry quite early on into the match. We had some celebrity appearances from iShow Speed. Bron Breakker absolutely killed him, and I loved it.
Killed him.
The spear, as he hits the spear, you can see it on the replay, and he hits the mat. Bron Breakker's shoulder comes through his chin.
Have you seen the fan footage?
No.
All I'll say to you is, look at the fan footage. It looks even more devastating. It's one of those like, hi, well, look, it's I show speed. There he goes. It's like 1 minute he's there, next minute he's gone.
I was telling the kids he runs the ropes at 26 miles an hour. And when we were in the car earlier on, I was like, this is 26 miles an hour. And
that's scary.
Like, he runs this fast. I was like, yeah, on the ropes. Madness. Some big returns. Obviously, John Cena, we talked about AJ Styles' return. And yeah, absolutely epic Royal Rumble. And with that many stars, which one of those stars is going to win the match, Matt Burns?
Exactly. It was a who's who. We had some nice appearances from people from TNA as well.
I believe in Joe Hendry.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
And it's absolutely phenomenal. But I feel as though in this match, a lot of stars were made in this match. Roman made a star out of Braun.
Yeah. Jacob Fatu made a star out of himself.
Yep.
I was disappointed because do you know who was missing out of this match? Really missing, because of injury and would have done really well. Bronson Reed. We missed Bronson Reed out of this Rumble, and I feel sorry that he did miss it because if he hadn't had that injury, he would have been a massive part of this Rumble.
Ooh, yeah. That's a good call. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely think so. So, really sad about that, really. But what we did get is the best Rumble I can remember in a long time.
Yeah. It was, we didn't know exactly who was going to win. And what I find interesting is out of everyone's predictions that we know of, did anybody have the actual winner?
No, nobody I knew predicted this. We did our watch along and we were in shock when Jey Uso got the win. I went back and watched some other watch alongs that different channels had done. And they were all as shocked as we were. What did you say last night, Matt Burns? What were the odds on Jey Uso winning?
It was something like it was over like over 1,000 to 1.
Madness, absolute madness.
It was something like 1,000 to 1 or something. I'm
and
literally
rightly so, because I never, ever, ever would have put my money on Jey Uso. And I tell you what's really interesting about that is, and I thought about this long and hard today. This is a reward for all the hard work that he's done, the crowd interaction for Jey Uso, how much merch he's moving probably for him at the minute. You know, what a phenomenal thing to show that even with all those stars in the Rumble, we're still going to make new stars. And that's what they did last night. They made a new star. They took Jey Uso from being a really over character, upper mid-carder, and made him into what his name is, which is main event Jey Uso.
Right.
Absolutely.
I've literally just got the American, betting odds.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
The plus is, the more plus it is, the more money you got to spend to earn money back.
Yeah.
Negative is basically, the less money you put in, the less,
Yeah, give me the odd.
Basically, Punk ended up being the favorite right before the end. Punk was the odds-on favorite at minus 400. Cena was at plus 240. Seth Rollins plus 2,000.
I'm just going to see if I can do a quick translate on that, which would have been 20 to 1 by the end.
Yeah.
So it'd have been 20 to 1 in the end, which is, absolutely nowhere.
Yeah. That's what I mean, straight away. The Rock had, his odds were higher than Jey Uso.
Yeah, absolutely.
At 900.
Absolutely mad. I suppose, we're talking about highlights. Who was the absolute star of this Rumble for you, Matt Burns?
For which one?
The men's. I talked about eight who did really well in the women's. Who's the one who really stole it for you in this men's Royal Rumble?
I think Roman had a really good showing because he was making names.
Yeah, phenomenal.
Making names. We got Jacob Fatu because he was beasting people.
He was mine, 100%.
Braun Breaker.
Oh, yeah, epic. Yeah, Braun Breaker, really good job.
Braun Breaker, because
I was disappointed when Braun Strowman threw him out.
I was angry.
Was it Braun Strowman? Braun Strowman threw Jacob Fatu out. Who threw Braun Breaker out? Might have been Roman. Might have been Roman. Yeah, after Braun.
Yes, it was Roman.
Roman sent him out. Yeah, I was disappointed when Braun Breaker got eliminated. I thought he could have done more.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel as though, even though he got eliminated, did Roman look like he was standing tall?
That spear that he hit Roman with was really good.
I thought to myself, oh, he's going to spear Braun. And all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the speed difference of Braun and Roman, he just hit Roman out of complete nowhere.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we got that final 6, which was CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, Logan Paul, John Cena, and Jey Uso. And at that point, nobody saw it coming. I was a bit worried Logan Paul might have got the win at this point, or I certainly was once Seth, Roman, and Punk were all eliminated. I started to worry about Logan Paul.
All at once. So basically, the odds-on favourites, the top 3 odds-on favourites, just all thrown out at once.
Yeah, at that point, a lot of the audience would have gone, right, so it's John Cena then. I certainly did. You know,
Yeah,
I was a bit worried
even
about
I
Logan
did.
Paul, but I thought, right, it's probably John Cena now. And when Logan Paul went out and left John Cena and Jey Uso, that's it for me. And then we get that bit on the apron. And I suppose at that point I'm thinking, well, you never know till you really know. But John Cena's going over here. And that camera shot's perfect because Jay drops behind him, pushes him forward, and then John is stood, and you can see it in his face, facial expressions. You know, you can see the acting coming out of him. And, you know, John Cena, phenomenal. To the point I'm trying to make here is John Cena, for me, was the best character in the match because without him, that finish doesn't work.
No, it wouldn't have worked. And the best thing about it is Cena looked just as shocked as we were.
Yeah. And, you know, we were speechless on here last night on the review. And it's why I wanted to come on tonight and talk about the show and do the full review. And this will be our episode of the podcast this week as well. But we didn't do it justice last night because we were in shock because it was such a madness turn of events. Nobody saw it coming. But I'm so glad they did it. Putting Jey Uso over was a stroke of genius.
Yeah, it was. And it really was. And what was interesting for me is what I find even more funny is he wins it immediately on X. We got someone putting out putting out a post immediately. Don't you dare do it. Do you know who it was?
No.
Gunter.
Was it?
It was like, don't you dare do it.
Brilliant. And I think Jey versus Gunter, that's the world title match at WrestleMania that I didn't expect, but I'm really looking forward to. You know, they did a great job. Was it at Saturday night's main event?
Yes, but the scary thing about it is a part of me still thinks they could still throw in another spanner.
Yeah, and the Bloodline saga is never without twists and turns, and this might just be another beat in that. But right now, for me, it looks like a quality night one main event.
Either way. And the scary thing about it is, for me, is the fact that no matter which champion he does end up going for, the actual Rumble actually threw off completely certain storylines I thought were going to get put into play from the Rumble.
And do you know what? I'm so glad you brought that up, Matt Burns, because look at the bottom of the screen, right? Because that's exactly what I've done here. So Kevin and Cody over here, that's done. Yeah. So what happens with Kevin Owens now on the road to WrestleMania? I don't know. Will it involve Sami Zayn? I don't know. We have this trio of CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns. What are they doing for WrestleMania? Right now, I have no clue. They're doing something, but who knows? And then right the way over here on your side, put your finger down for me so I can see him. John Cena. Oh, yeah. John Cena. What the hell is he doing for WrestleMania? Because right now, I don't see a path for him.
Well, actually, there is a path for him if you watch the post show.
Yeah, so I've heard about this. I haven't seen it yet, and I will give it a watch. But so he's announced for the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But what is Elimination Chamber this time? Is Elimination Chamber for a title? Is Elimination Chamber
number one contendership
for the other belt at WrestleMania?
Yes.
But we don't know which one Jay's going for yet. We assume he's
basically
going for. But what if Jay goes for Cody?
It doesn't matter. Whichever championship is not been selected, the number one contendership for the other is going to be fought for in the Elimination Chamber.
Wowzer.
So immediately, we've already got an Elimination Chamber that's got some massive makes
Elimination Chamber must watch.
Yeah, and the fact that you got John Cena, who promised Toronto that the next time you see him, he's going to be kicking backside and taking names. You could see that John Cena was absolutely fired up for the Elimination Chamber, and he just goes, you know what? I know some of you could sit there and say I'm being selfish. No, I'm not being selfish. It is actually what's best for business. Me heading to WrestleMania as a challenger for a world championship and then smashing that record.
So we've got Elimination Chamber Toronto, and for that, that is on the 1st of March, so a full month from last night. Mm-hmm. in Toronto, and it's the only match we've got announced. So, yeah, I'm not sure what we'll get there. I suppose who knows? But yeah, Elimination Chamber, it's must watch now, just based on John Cena saying he's going to go after another title match for WrestleMania and he wants to earn it.
In fact, he even said, "Let's play a game. Who can get out the news story? Who can get the main headline out before the others?"
I love that. I absolutely love that. So MVP for the Royal Rumble match, I said John Cena. You said,
me personally, I feel as though it's between the more. My initial thought was Roman was Roman, because he was making names of people. He was actually making others look really credible.
Yeah, he put a lot of people over, didn't he? Okay, so I'm going to say that this is my favorite Royal Rumble match ever. Super Lee has come in with a comment on YouTube Live. He says Cena 17 times. Yeah, I mean, we're waiting for it, aren't we? But yeah, for me, this is my favorite Royal Rumble ever, Matt Burns.
Yeah.
Certainly my favorite Royal Rumble match. I can't not give this 5 out of 5 bangers.
Exactly, just for the match alone, and the fact that we even got the twist ending at the twist ending as well, which I love. But straight away, like how you mentioned earlier in regards to the trio you got at the bottom together, Punk, Roman, and Seth. What I thought was interesting with that is Punk eliminates both of them, but then when he gets eliminated, you got Roman in the face of Punk, so they're saying, "What the hell? What you doing?"
And then we got the most devastating curb stomp I've ever seen, because he 2-footed him on the floor.
Oh, yeah,
it
definitely.
Was a 2-footed stomp. Go back and watch it, right? The one on the steps is fine. The one on the floor is a 2-footed stomp. Because I watched it all back this morning. It is unbelievable.
I will say this to you. A part of me wonders if that's going to turn Seth.
Hey, you never know. You absolutely never know. From what it says on this Elimination Chamber page as well, it says the winner gets a choice between which title. What if Jey Uso and whoever wins the Elimination Chamber pick the same title? Do we do a triple threat? Who knows? That's what's so excited about the Elimination Chamber.
I am surprised that the NXT one hasn't been thrown in.
Yeah. All I can say is the road to WrestleMania is hella exciting.
Exactly.
With that, I think you should take us home, Matt Burns.
Pretty much. For me, that's going to be a wrap up on one of the wildest, most yeeted film nights in WWE history, from jaw-dropping eliminations to absolute bangers after bangers after bangers in the ring. Royal Rumble 2025 was one for the ages.
If you had as much fun as we did, smash the like button, drop a comment below. Your support fuels the burning truth, and we're building on what we want to build is an unstoppable community of diehard wrestling fans from around the world.
And hey, we need your help to take this podcast to the next level. We're chasing 1,000 subscribers, and with your help,
yeah, absolutely.
Yep, I was about to point that out. And with your help, we can make it happen, especially on YouTube. So hit that subscribe button, share this episode out, and let's grow this wrestling family.
Yeah. If you want even more, you can follow us everywhere. Search The Burning Truth on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, and more. And if you're on X and Blue Sky, you can hit us up directly at TBT Live UK for breaking news, event updates, and exclusive content. You can also visit theburningtruthuk.com.
And of course, as always, until next time, stay hyped, stay passionate, and never stop loving wrestling. And of course, remember DFTBA. And in case you don't know what it means, don't forget to be awesome.
And I said it last night, so I'll say it again. Yeet.